Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the workchamp Swiss Army knife, 111mm knife. What I hold in my hand is the box as it came with it. It's a regular silver box. What is less regular is the thickness of this 111mm Swiss Army knife. It's really a lot in this knife, a lot of tools. That's why I wanna talk about it. It's one of the biggest 111mm that they make at the factory, and yeah, as a tool chest it's pretty good. It's based on the 111mm Swiss Army knife that say the handle length is 111mm. It's the earlier style that is two-hand opening with the sliding lock part here. As we see, as we open the blade with two hands using the nail nick, the part here moves and actually lock the blade like this. So that is the main difference optically to the regular newer 111mm, where you have the press down liner lock system and not the sliding lock. How that looks inside of this is easy to see on my video that I did make about changing the scales for the sliding lock. It basically locks not the blade, it locks the spring itself inside here. So that's rather unusual that the knife doesn't lock the blade but the spring of the blade. It works perfectly, is a good reliable system. We never had much problem with it. If you change the scales, of course you need to be more careful because of the part here and its spring below. Again, this you see on my other video. I'm gonna put a link in the description to that, how the details work in there. So that are the differences what we see outside. Inside it looks a bit different too. This older system, the first system of the 111mm Swiss Army knife, uses smaller diameter rivets than the one hand opening newer brother. Basically this one was designed for more civilian use back then, and as the German army, the German military wanted to upgrade first to the one hand opening version, they of course did ask for a couple changes, and next to the one hand opening and some tool selection, they did also requested that the knife would be a bit more stable, so they did upgrade in the diameter of the rivets inside. Now for us that doesn't help us much or matter. The knife in my hand is still stable enough. What matters is that we would have more tools, say the scissor and the plier, that would fit into the other system as well, so we could use that. But no, it's not gonna work because the rivets, the hole that is for the rivets in the tools are smaller, so we can't use it in that system. So that is the main difference and the main problem we have with this. So in case you want to have a 111mm with scissor, for now the best way to go is with the knife in my hand or a smaller version, but it's gonna be two hand and with the sliding lock system. So that much about these differences. Now we look a bit at the tool. First tool is the main blade, then we have pretty big pliers. You can use this for multiple use. You see some slots. You can see here we have a slot that corresponds with this. We have here for cutting the wire a bit a slot below here as well, and then of course the pliers. So it's pretty useful, pretty good force you can get. Of course it's not like a regular size plier, but still pretty good. And what I want to point out is how hidden the screwdriver is there. They put in between there also a screwdriver, and to open this you basically pull it a little bit up using this part here, and then you can pull that out. Now like this we should not do. Both of the tools we should never open. I just do this for a demonstration here, but that is not good for the spring. This spring here is relative weak from the factory already, how that is designed, so it should not harm. I just gonna show and tell that is you should not do that with a regular Swiss Army knife. So we have the plier here, we have a nice size Phillips on the other side, and then we have the metal saw, metal file combination, beautifully made out of the material of the steel. In earlier days they were not stainless steel, it was carbon steel that got plated, but now they are all stainless steel and really beautiful made. This knife here is brand new. It's gonna go to a friend pretty soon for Christmas, and yeah, so I did not test it out so far. Then we have the wood saw, regular wood saw, really nice made. I can quick point out the differences between a used wood saw and a brand new one. We see here always, and this is not a flaw, that is just the way it comes from factory. We see here, yes, we see here those parts on the saw. I'm gonna quick remove some of those parts. Here we see another. So that is it from the machining process. Is that happening somehow? And on this you see if a saw is used or not. If those little itty bitty metal parts are gone, then that saw was used minimum one time for saw something off. If it's still there, then it's brand new. That as I say, if you use it, it will go away by the first time. Doesn't interfere with the quality or whatsoever. So that's just the way how it comes, and that you see how that works. Then next tool in line we have scissors. Scissors are about the size of the 91 millimeter. Of course a little bit different inside, but other than that it's pretty much the same. So the spring is the same as well. There is a video on the scissor springs that I just did that explains a bit the different styles and the different versions of it. So we get that covered too. This one is a brand new one, so the scissor is riveted, not screwed together. That is nicely finished and works. It got a bit grease on it. That's how it is from the factory. And again in there we have a second Phillips, this time a longer one. Again we have that hook here where we can lift up the part, the tool, and then over the spring tension we can open it up like that. So you have a bit a smaller one that is longer and a bit a wider one that is short. There are so many Phillips in our world now that is a good design to have two different sizes. It's a bit universal anyhow because it's a conical. It's a conical Phillips design, so that works pretty well. And then of course we have the last layer, the opener layer. That's regular. We have the can opener with the small screwdriver and the bottle opener with the bigger screwdriver, and the tool here is for wire isolation removing if you have to do this. So that's pretty much on the tools that we have here. Now we see inside how the liners are. Some are solid to give it more stability, the middle one, the two sides, and we also see the one here is a bit thinner than the other tools. So there are really many different types of liners they use. And then of course we see the cut out ones that goes all the way down. There we have 3 pieces in it too, and we see pretty well in the middle that copper, that brass color one, that is one of the rivets. We see the rivet a bit here as well, but of course in the main section for the blades the rivets are covered. So the rivets are the parts that hold the Swiss Army knife together. There are video on my YouTube channel as I show how that is going on, how to rivet it, and usually at the blade show in Atlanta I rivet one Swiss Army knife on the table there so the people can watch how that actually goes. It's not a screw it together system, it's riveted. Back then they did select this over screws, so that is how that is. Now I'm gonna put those tools back together, and then we look on the back side of the knife what we have all there. If you open all the blades, that's pretty dangerous because many items are pointy or sharp or both. So be careful, it's a knife, it's not a toy. And as thicker the knife, as more you need to be careful about that. Now we have it back together. The tools on the back side in this case are only 2. We have here the awl and reamer combination. Because this side here is sharp, you can use it as a reamer as well. If you have a hole that is not big enough in a leather belt or whatever, you can use it for that. The hole is that you can use it also for sawing a little bit. Like in Switzerland we had potato bags by the farmers. They did use items like this for saw it together with a bit of thread. I would say it's pretty much gone nowadays, but it's still there. It's still a feature that you can use. And then on this side, of course, we have the scales with the cutout and either Phillips. As we see here, either a Phillips or a corkscrew. In this version they choose the corkscrew, and it has the new cornered, not round anymore, cornered version of the small screwdriver that is basically for glasses and other small items. It's conveniently stored in here, just screw it in. And of course the corkscrew, if you drink a bit of wine or anything that is in a bottle with a cork, you know how that works. Because they are using the nylon scales on this one, we see that on a bit the texture and the color. It's more matte, less shiny than the Celidor. We do not have plus scales here, so we only have the toothpick and the tweezer. I'm gonna show that in a minute. And there is no hole for the needle here or for a pen and pen. We don't have in here. That is how that is. So we have on that side here the tweezer. Everybody loves the tweezer. And on the other side is the toothpick. Secure in it. If you lose it, there are spare parts, no problem at all. That's common. And on the end, of course, we have the split ring, so you can mount it on a chain or a cord. You know, if you go in the forest or over water, I would suggest that you put that one end of the cord on the knife by the split ring, the other end maybe on the belt, and not on the belt loop of the pants. Rather, we do it in Switzerland around the belt, so the belt is usually more stable than the belt loop on the pants, so that you don't lose it. The price of such a knife is pretty good, so we don't wanna lose it. It's a big heavy one, but it has a lot of tools, and many times I don't know yet how the friend gonna carry it, but I think we need to look for a belt sheet for it, so he can carry it on his belt, and then he is pretty well prepared with that. Many tools, and of course you need to know how to use them effective and in a safe manner. So safety first. Yeah, that much about the Victorinox workchamp in red. Great knife, great big 111mm knife. I like it. It's a nice civilian version of the 111mm.